My name is Adam. I'm an aspiring filmmaker, a photographer, a bit of an adventurer, and most recently, a nomad. I'm back on the road and I'm not doing it alone. I'm teaming up with other travelers chasing the same dreams as me, to live life on our own terms. From exploring their rigs to unveiling their lifestyles, we explore what the pursuit of Borderless looks like. One of the most fascinating parts of the human experience is the art of altering our reality, the creative expression. Some of the earliest known examples of mankind are the product of the human intellect. Language, cave drawings, architecture, instruments, it all points to humanity's most fundamental traits: imagination and creativity. Imagination is the art of thinking, the conversation between the ears, the place of infinite possibilities. But creativity is the ability to conceive of an idea and bring it into existence, using knowledge, tools, and physical effort to bring thoughts into reality. Paintings, drawings, music, dance, these are all physical acts of the artistic expression that enrich our daily lives. But there's a complexity to creativity. Creativity can be both rigid and freeform, both exact and abstract. It can follow the rules or break them. It can be both reality and fiction, big and small, muted and saturated, textured and smooth. But the art of creativity is more than just physical. And my life was fundamentally altered when I realized that creativity can be expressed through thoughts and concepts like core values, culture, and lifestyle. After randomly meeting my new friends Billy and Mark in Albuquerque, they invited me to travel with them for a couple days. It's crazy how a couple of adventures and a few sunsets can build a friendship. When it came time to part ways, they suggested I link up with their friend Rob, who lives, travels, and tours in a school bus with two of his bandmates. It's hard to connect with a band that's always on the move. The first time we spoke, they were in the Pacific Northwest, but they said I could come hang out with them their last stop on the tour in Oklahoma City.
My name's Rob Leines. I'm from Georgia, Cherokee County to be exact, and I'm living in the bus. Yeah. But the idea of being on the road and that sense of freedom is something that I've had since a child. You know, it was always been a dream of mine. After high school in Georgia, I moved to Chattanooga area, and at the time I was super big into whitewater kayaking, saved my money, bought the Astro van, travel around the southeast, just running class 4, class 5 stuff. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. It was so small. It was great to have a little bungalow, basically, when you got off the river. And I built a rack on the top, and basically the van was so I could sleep in it, and so I could haul my buddies, all of them, and put 6 boats on top. So that was the idea with the Astro van. Honestly, I love being outdoors. I love the idea of living in a mobile home since I was a kid. I grew up, my mom was in a bluegrass band. Her parents were in a bluegrass band with her when she was a kid. I was kind of always around it. I started playing guitar pretty young, but you know, it was a way to express, and I had these things I needed to say in a different way that I wouldn't be able to in a conversation. So, long story short, I just had always kind of played guitar and wanted to get more serious into songwriting, and I started writing a lot more, and then recorded my first an EP, and then started playing shows, and that was about 5 years ago, and it escalated quickly, because generally when I do something, I dedicate all my time to it and energy, kind of tunnel vision. But building it from an open mic night 6 years ago to what it's become now is, I never would have imagined it, you know. I feel at home on stage. It's become a true place of expression, and I think music is important for the world because you can transcend into a different place I'll look up and I've already gone somewhere else, and I see everyone else went there with us, you know. And, you know, people thank you for what you do and all this, but really it takes two to tango. The listener is equally as important as the person making the art, 100%. Otherwise, it's just a tree fall in the woods. Did you hear it? Doesn't matter. I mean, it's such a group effort, 100%. Life lessons that music has taught me. I've got some walrus skin. You get some tough skin. Lots of highs, lots of lows. And I guess the biggest thing is that don't expect anything. Everything that you do, you gotta work for, especially if it's something that everyone else wants to do. You gotta outwork them and make yourself vulnerable, really put yourself out there. It's not really a look at me thing, it's more of just expressing what you feel in your soul. I'm the only person I know, I'm sure there's someone else, but I'm the only person I know that tours in a school bus. Well, and that was a big thing. I wanted to cut down on hotels, I wanted to cut down on eating out all the time. I mean, you drive 3, 4, 6, 8 hours every day when you're going to a different city. We have to pay for a lot less hotels, maybe once a week. A lot of venues have showers. So if we're always constantly going to a different place, I didn't have the need for a bathroom or a shower. We're stopping every 450 miles to fill up, or that's our stop. You know, we got food, water, all that stuff. You wake up, 10 o'clock bus call, and then you drive to the next city. Then you sound check, you play, you talk to people, and you go to bed. Yeah, it's every day. Welcome to the Thunderdome. Come on around. So here we got an E450 6.0, and before you 6.0 haters say anything, I drove this thing 30,000 miles in about 3 months. So I don't want to hear it. Anyways, here's the back door. I guess you'd call it the garage. A lot of guitars, more guitars, amps, guitars. Just built for a tour rig, so keep in mind that it is built to have 2 other people living in it at one time. So come on inside. I didn't mess with any of the driving compartment whatsoever. Just a little bit to hang some hats here and there. A little sentimental flair, if you will. We got cabinets here. It's pretty much everything you see is reclaimed wood or pallet wood. So the ceiling is from a house built in 1922. It was actually the tongue and groove flooring for the house. So the cabinets here, they're built with, all this is pallet wood. These are offcuts from another project. Food, snacks, and whatnot. Once I get it hooked up, it'll be a full functioning kitchen. Got a little shower, or a sink if you want. This right here actually slides out. Nice little bed there. So I made this little thing. Actually, I made this 2 days after I had surgery. I was in a sling, but it's a little light. Looks like a fireplace. This is where the fridge is. It comes out. Propane's under here, and all the instruments over there. Over here, we got our sports. I like to throw the pigskin around late at night. He loves the parking lot. This is kind of where I keep, so we'll have a guy sleep here, and then I've got a memory foam, and he lays out right here because he's quite a bit taller, and then the other half is all my tools. My favorite part of the bus, I would say the vibe as far as all the wood. I kind of wanted a space where it felt like a log cabin, because when I buy a house, it's gonna be a cabin. So now home's wherever I make it.
Rob invited me to tag along with the band and do some more filming. but their next show was in San Diego, so I had a week to get from Oklahoma to California. But before I started my trip across the country, I wanted to swing by and see some family that was living in Dallas. My dad had just retired and was spending a lot of time in a makerspace, so with his help, the van got some much needed custom branding. Alright, so what we've done is we laser etched Becoming Borderless in here, stained it, put an edge on it, cut it to fit in the back window. So now, once this glue dries around the edge, we'll see if it fits on the back window. Basically what we're gonna try and do is backlight LEDs so that you can see the light coming through. It's gonna look great. Dude, that is great. Growing up, I had the blessing of having two families. This meant I got to travel a lot as a kid, and I really enjoyed it. I remember long road trips with my dad, sharing stories, blasting our favorite songs on cassette tapes. It might be one of the reasons I love living in the van. It takes me back to the good old days when life was simple. So when it came time to get back on the road again and chase this band all the way across the country, it wasn't hard to convince my recently retired father to jump in for the ride. So this is Dinosaur Valley State Park in Texas. This is our first stop on our epic tour across the Southwest. Dad brought me here when I was, 10. I have very vivid memories of standing over there, looking at dinosaur footprints, just being in like complete awe. So excited about this. A quick stop to relive some childhood memories, and then we're back on the road. We had 1 week to drive over 1,300 miles. With a little bit of planning and a lot of bit of making it up as we go, our mission was to explore new places, make new memories, and also get to California on time. Our first stop was Big Bend National Park. We drove 9 hours that first day and got there just before sunset. We scattered out a camp spot, finally found a spot without rocks or cactuses. We got the tent set up and then just marveled at the stars. The next morning was wild. We woke up to a cloud-covered morning, and then we drove up to the heart of the park, 7,000 feet. We did a short hike, but mostly we just watched the clouds roll in. When the clouds got too thick, we got out of there. We had many more days of driving and many adventures to get to. We were going to stop in New Mexico, but we had both been to the White Sands. So we powered through the whole state because I found something amazing to check out in Arizona.
So, question for you. Me, as a kid, looking back, anything in my childhood that would be like, oh, obviously you're, gonna grow up and travel around and live in a van and play with cameras.
I definitely could have believed play with cameras. That creative aspect of you that's always been there.
Do you remember when I brought that Polaroid camera, that little wind-up camera, to hang out with you that one time? And I got all the photos developed, and it was like pictures of the TV, like movies that I was watching. It wasn't anything cool. That was my first camera experience. Yeah.
I remember you taking pictures of the TV.
It was like pictures of Power Rangers and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was Power Rangers.
We were both really excited for this next place I found. If you're traveling west, the only way to get there is to backtrack an hour off the highway. Be warned, there are no gas stations out there. Tucked into the southeast corner of Arizona is Chiricahua National Monument. It's a bit bizarre being bored out of your mind driving through flat deserts, when all of a sudden you drive through a wonderland of rocks. This place is truly unique. It's an amazing 8-mile drive from the beginning of the park to the top of the mountain where you can do some amazing hiking. I recommend Mushroom Rock Trail. It's a short loop that gives you both the expansive view and lets you get up close and personal with these amazing rock towers. It really feels like you're hiking through another world. So after doing a little bit of homework, I discovered that these rock pillars are leftovers from a volcanic event a long time ago. Over the centuries, the ground has eroded, and what's left are these strange, wild, wonderful rock formations. Yep, that's me actually falling down a mountain. But I'm okay. Show you photos of rocks all day long. It's simple, but it makes me happy. And there's just something powerful about a beautiful view that can stop you dead in your tracks. Life gets busy, and when you get into the rhythm of the day-to-day, it's hard to pick your head up and admire the world around us. One of the many blessings of this nomadic lifestyle is there's always a new view just around the corner.
So the question to you is, does moving into a farm wall structure put a border around you?
That is interesting. I think moving into a structure for me, like a house, would be a great home base, but I don't see myself not out doing this. The term becoming borderless started as a fun Instagram handle, but it kind of turned into a lifestyle choice for me. Borders are only as strong as you make them in your head. It reminds you to always grow. Your comfort levels, your knowledge of places that you can go and travel. Becoming borderless is more of like a mindset, and you don't have to go very far. Sometimes it can just be a walk in the woods right next to your house.
I would say that's part of what this trip has already shown me.
Okay.
I can tell you my mindset of I could go pitch a tent and sleep on a 3-inch air mattress on the ground and wake up and actually be able to move at my early retirement age. Man, I thought I would be stiff and sore and miserable and grouchy the whole time. But by golly, I was going to try it. And when I woke up and I wasn't stiff and sore and grouchy, and we wake up, serious, beautiful environment, great trees, wildlife, mountains. So now it feels like, oh, well, I don't have to go out and pay $100 a night to be out for a week. It's going to cost me, $1,000 to experience different parts and different scenery and things this country has to offer.
By the time we made it to California, I had caught my dad looking up prices for travel trailers more than once. I'm glad that he's enjoying this travel lifestyle. To be honest, I didn't know much about Joshua Tree. I knew that it was a very popular national park, but I wasn't sure what to expect. We entered the park from the south entrance, and it was fine. Some desert views, some crazy cool white cactuses, 360 degrees of mountains, cool. But as we drove north, my excitement levels began to rise. Rocks. Crazy, amazing, weird, wonderful rocks. You know how I feel about rocks. The whole place feels like a jungle gym for adults. We spent all afternoon climbing around and exploring, and I even tried to teach my dad how to use the camera, but manual focus is hard. I got into climbing a few years ago, and this looked like a place to practice those skills. So here's a blurry first ascent of some random rock I found. By the time Dad was nailing focus pulls, it was time to head out. Honestly, the drive through Joshua Tree at sunset was one of the highlights of the trip for me. It was a perfect bookend for a road trip that will go down in history as legendary and one of the best. So when I finally got to San Diego, the venue would not allow me to come film with Rob and the band. I suppose we should have checked and gotten permission first, but I'm one of those ask for forgiveness later kind of people. So, 1,300 miles on a creative endeavor only to be told no. But that's how it goes sometimes. Life as a creative can definitely have its lows, and this is what Rob had to say about the low moments.
I would say it's probably not for everybody. You gotta love the adventure, love what you do, work as hard as you can, and don't expect anything. Do it from a deeper place, do it from your soul. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. But I would say keep moving, stay motivated, stay hungry. Never get too settled, always progress. Always do the best you can do, and always do something different or change it up a little bit. I would say that's the most beautiful thing. What kind of mark did you leave? Was it a positive one or a negative one? Did you benefit other people's lives as much as they benefited yours? Did you make an impact? We're not supposed to do anything except just be good to each other and coexist. That's what it's all about. It's not that hard.
I love being an artist. I love being a creative. Taking photos and videos are both my passion and my career, but I don't believe you have to be an artist to be a creative. The definition of creativity is the use of imagination or original ideas, especially in the pursuit of an artistic work. But I would argue that the human experience is the greatest form of artistic expression. We all have that spark of creativity inside of us, and we can use this creativity in our imaginations to illuminate the world around us. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, we are artists. Our tools are our values and our choices in the way that we live our day-to-day lives. And our portfolio is the experiences we have and the memories we make along the way. We are all artists. We are all creative. And we can all affect the reality around us. You just have to let your light shine. Next time on Becoming Borderless, I go live in the desert for a couple weeks, where I go to my first van life rally in Sedona, Arizona.